2021, in terms of sports, can be described as a dramatic year. From the football field to the tartan tracks, sports had a year to remember. The year began with the Black Satellites winning the Under-20 African Cup of Nations in Mauritania, defeating Uganda by 2-0, but ended disappointingly as Richard Comey lost to Vasily Lomachenko in a fight that would have set him up for another world title opportunity. Though Samuel Techi won Ghana's first Olympic medal in 29 years, the discipline had a mixed year. Just as athletics, this sport had Ghanaians and even neutrals at edge. But as usual, it was football that took the attention with the sacking of C.K. Akuno and hiring of Milovan Rajvac. Who could forget how South Africa dragged Ghana's image in the mud with alleged match-fixing allegations and government committing $25 million in Black Stars for next year's tournaments. And finally, the disunity in football showing its ugly head as 67 members passed resolutions amending parts of the statutes of the 2019 statutes put together by the now defunct Normalization Committee. We are discussing these and many others this morning with Atapoko of Wuntume FM and TV, Mohamed Amin Lamte, Communications Director of the Ghana Boxing Authority, and Bao Hussein, General Secretary of the Ghana Athletics Association. Good morning, everyone. This is AM Sports. I am Muftau Nabila Abla. Let's start with boxing. And we've been joined by the Communications Director of the Ghana Boxing Authority, Mohamed Amin Lamte. He'll be speaking to us about boxing. What he makes of the year 2021 for boxing, what could have changed, what would change going into 2022. Amin Lamte, we appreciate your company this morning. First of all, how would you describe the year 2021 for boxing?
Nabila, thank you very much for having me. I am honored to be on this morning. The year under review, 2021, I think that, as you really said in your introduction, it's been quite a very interesting year. Boxing, as usual, we are very honored. We are grateful to God for the achievement made so far, because as you talk about football and all that, in terms of achievement, I think that boxing, we have done it again. After 29 years of waiting, boxing gave Ghana another medal from the Olympic Games. I think that this is, commendable. And again, we have two of our former world champions coming back. Isaac Dugbe came back and won his title just to make sure that, he re-echoed his intention to get back and win the world title. Yes, Richard Comey against Lomachenko. Yeah, it was a bitter pill to swallow. But any boxing enthusiast, anybody who understands boxing will know that it's part of sport. And it was good that Richard Comey lost that fight. He'll get back and reorganize himself and make a huge comeback. So boxing has been very, very exciting. And let's talk about the GBA elections in April.
As well, yes. I was coming to that.
Exactly. We all saw what happened in all that. So I think that it's a good year for boxing. You can clearly see that we have established a new platform, a springboard that in 2022, and I know that boxing will get to the top.
Let's talk about also Chris Avalos and then the fight against Isaac Dugbe. This was also a fight many of us believed that it could build Isaac Dugbe up for another world title opportunity. And these are the prime boxers the Ghana Boxing Authority will always look up to and say, we have another opportunity of going for a world title so far as these boxers are around.
Absolutely. It was a fight that a lot of people thought that Isaac Dugbe would not cross the road. We saw how he did cross the road because against Avalos, all of us know that it's a credible opponent. Isaac Dugbe took his time, even though, the beginning was very rough, but he was able to steady and size up his opponent. We saw how he came back hugely and saw how he won the fight. So for me, I think that it's a plus for Isaac Dugbe. Isaac Dugbe in the past, we all saw Isaac Dugbe as a boxer who probably might not have the kind of plan B, plan C that we need in a boxer. He always get into fight with one one idea that I'm going to stop my opponent. That was it. But for this particular fight, we saw that kind of dynamism. We saw that kind of element of creativity in Isaac Degbe. When he tried the plan A and it never worked, he improvised and got plan B in place, and we saw what he did. And I think that Isaac Degbe has really grown in the sport. He is now a big man. He knows what to do at what time. So I think that it's one of the,
Sheikh, if you can hear me, let's move from Isaac Degbe and Richard Comey and come back home and talk about the activities of the Ghana Boxing Authority. This was a year, despite the existence of COVID-19, there were still some credible boxing fights that happened in the country. We are talking about the fights involving Alfred Lampton, who came against his Tanzanian opponent. And this was a fight that many of us who were around had said that this is a young boxer who is coming in to win the Youth WBC title. I don't know what you make of the activities of the Ghana Boxing Authority, the impact of COVID on the Ghana Boxing Authority in the year under review.
Absolutely. I think that we have to delve hard for the boxing fraternity. Yes, we're able to actually comport ourselves. We apply all the protocols under COVID. And then so far as I speak to you, we've had almost about 15 promotions. So if these 15 promotions, if you're going to multiply that by 10 fights, because at every boxing event, you have not less than 10 fights, because you need to have undercard and all that, a major event. So far, we've had about 15 fights. So 15 times 10 is almost about 15 bouts. So it is not a joke. So out of this, remember when the current GBA president, Abraham Kota Nikwe, came into office, one thing that he did quickly was to get a new car for the GBA, for the GBA's errands. And the second one, he was able to bring on board 10 solid new national titles, just to encourage domestic competition, to let our boxers understand that you have to compete. After training, you need to get competition to grow in the sport. So out of these 10, titles that we brought on board, Nabila, I can tell you that 17 are already gone.
Wow.
17 are already gone. We are left with only 3. So within 3 months, when this title came on board, we have almost 7 gone. We have cruiserweight gone, heavyweight gone, welterweight gone, flyweight gone, and all that. So middleweight gone. So it tells you that we brought back that kind of enthusiasm that we need in boxing. And again, the GB has also gone ahead to recalibrate its website. Now, anything that you need about Ghana boxing, you just go to www.GhanaBoxingAuthority.com and you see everything. So these are the things that we have done. And again, Nabila, now, for the first time over 16 years, the current GBA has gone into collaboration with IMAX Media Group, where we're going to get the league back. So these are goodies that have really fallen in place for Ghana boxing, and I hope that this is going to streamline our activity. It's going to bring more laureates, it's going to bring more championship, and we're going to see more titles in 2022.
So what would you say have been the biggest success for Ghana boxing in the year 2021, and what is that thing that you feel could have been done better?
No, the success that I think that we can talk about is that the current administration has brought some sense of discipline, some sense of enthusiasm, some sense of agency and accuracy. Boxers get to understand that you must make sure you have to go and renew your license. If you are a stakeholder, a ring announcer, a boxing manager, a promoter, a gymnasium, a trainer, you need to go and renew your license. Because now, if you don't have license, you have no chance of coming near any boxing promotion or any program. So this is one good thing that I'm so happy about. And then we also look at our financial management. We look at how we can restructure our financial management and make sure that we avoid any leakages and all that. One of the most exciting things for me is that these new titles that we have, this new title, now we have added value to national title. Muftau, you can go to social media and see how boxers are celebrating their national title. And this is exactly what we are looking for too. What I'm looking for into 2022 is to see how we can add value. Adding value here is that how do we monetize our national titles? For example, if we're going to have a national title challenge, Muftau, I want to see a Ghanaian boxer going for a national title should go home not with less than 20,000 Ghana. Muftau, if that is how we should go, we have organizations and companies coming on board to say, look, we are sponsoring heavyweight national title. The best for the winner could go, let's say, 30,000 Ghana. The loser could go home with 10,000 Ghana. Muftau, I'm telling you, that will be the beginning of new era for Ghana boxing, because domestically you can make money. When you go to Africa, you can make money. When you go to Commonwealth, you can make money. Yeah. When you get to the world level, you make money. So our boxers will have a lot to think about. They have a lot to do, and they will deliver when it matters most. But when the domestic title is nothing to write home about, you just go into the fight, you win the title. There is no money attached to it. There is no cash attached to it. I think that this is really demotivating. So for me, I'm looking forward in 2022, let's try to monetize the national titles and other domestic titles so that boxers can also have something in their pockets. Muftau.
Have we set the tone for a better 2022?
Absolutely. We are more than ready. The Ghana Boxing Authority is more than ready, because for me, in February, we are starting the Ghana Professional Boxing League, where every 2 weeks, a boxer will have something in his or her pocket. Yeah. You know, the manager will have something. The gymnasium will have something. Officials that will come to officiate the fight will have something. So bi-weekly, every boxing follower would have something to cherish about. Yeah. And again, boxers and their stakeholders, I mean, the seconds, those in their corners, those who follow them and all, everybody will have something per the contract that we've signed with our media partners. So for me, I think that 2022 is already brighter, and we hope that the government and corporate entities will come on board to support this journey, because this journey demands a lot of financial input. Because if really we want to sustain it, we need financial injection. Because 16 years ago, why do you think that the Mortin or Men Only Boxing Championship actually could actually take a nosedive? Yeah. It took a nosedive because of financial problem. So I think that this time around, we've identified a problem. We are beginning to talk to people. We've spoken to government. It is our hope and belief that government will come to our aid to be able to consolidate and solidify this concept that we have introduced.
Sheikh, it will be a travesty for me to let you go without also letting you comment on football. I know as a commentator, this is one area that you also pay close attention to. And the year 2021 began with the Black Satellites winning the Under-20 African Cup of Nations in Mauritania. Hasafoko also won the Ghana Premier League, and there was the sacking of C.K. Akono and hiring of Milovan Rivat, and also the current umpires that has led to members saying that the current executive committee of the Ghana Football Association does not represent the interests of football. What do you make of the happenings in football for 2021, Sheikh?
You know, Muftau, it's a very good question. Football, we keep saying that is the passion of the nation. Yeah. But I will keep asking ourselves, how many trophies has football given to Ghana? Boxing has given Ghana 10 solid world titles. And as we speak now, there was no day government has taken any initiative to support boxing.
Sheikh, I wish I could get that again, so that we will have a better conversation on whether government was actually making efforts into supporting boxing. Sheikh, if you can hear me, did you say government did not make efforts to support boxing financially? Sheikh Lampton is still here with us on the AM show. We are taking a look at the year 2021, what it brought to us in terms of sport. For instance, there was the success of winning the Under-20 African Cup of Nations for the first time since 2009, when the Black Satellites went to Rwanda and won the Under-20 competition. There was also Hearts of Oak winning the league title for the first time. Some say 11 years, some can say 8 years, depending on the mathematics you want to do. If you want to use the 8 years, you take out the 2018-2019 Premier League seasons and the 2020 Premier League seasons, because these years the league did not complete, as there was number 12, there was normalization committee, and COVID forced the truncation of the league. Then there was the sacking of C.K. Akono. Many had said that he was not cut out for the job. The GFA decided to part company with him, despite the former Black Stars captain leading the country to qualify for the African Cup of Nations to be staged in Cameroon next month. There are still some outstanding issues to be resolved, because the GFA were supposed to pay him his monies in September. Those monies have not been paid. His lawyers have been chasing after the Ghana Football Association, demanding such payments. He won $350,000 from the football governing body, $50,000 as a sign-on fee, also a severance package of $300,000. And he said that the decision of the FA to fire him affected him emotionally, and he's making other financial demands. So in total, he needs about $750,000 from the Ghana Football Association. These are issues yet to be resolved. Then Milovan Rivard made a return. Milovan Rivard is that man, many would say that is arguably the best coach to have led the country, because during his first tenure as head coach of the senior national team, Ghana made it to the quarterfinal of the FIFA World Cup in 2010, when it was staged in the continent for the first time ever. What is his second term going to be like, his second coming? How is it going to pan out? Well, he's currently in an athlete, and he was Ghana's brightest spot when we went to the Olympic Games. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it to the final of the 100 meters race, but he was part of the quartet that made it to the grand finale of the 4x100 meters race at the expense, that is Benjamin Azameti on your shot, and he was part of that quartet that made it to the grand finale of the 4x100 meters race at the expense of the much vaulted USA. Unfortunately, in the grand finale, we were disqualified. We couldn't make it to the medal zone and all that. Yes, so we're having a lot of conversations with this. We'll have the likes of Atapoko. We're still trying to see if Alfred Lampton will be back to get us. And we'll also talk to the General Secretary of the Ghana Athletics Association about Hussein. These are the things we've put together now. And now I've been joined by Wuntumi FM and Wuntumi TV, Atapoko. He's a gentleman. Many will always call him the bishop because of his knowledge and understanding of the issues. Not just football, athletics, boxing, and everything. Ata, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you very much, Mustafa, for having me. How are you?
Your Asante Kotoko didn't win the Ghana Premier League. Your Ediala Stars did not win. But how would you describe the year 2021 in terms of football?
More or less like a whirlwind, especially for our local football.
Yeah.
We had a Ghana Football Association that was still adapting after coming into office. And then we had what we would call a dream Ghana Premier League, because it has always been the dream for everybody, including even the neutrals, that we have Accra Hearts of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko competing for the Premier League title in the real title race. So I was pleasantly happy with the way things transpired with the title race until we started taking signals of matches being played in the manner that they were played. Initially, we thought it was just one of those things and that it wasn't anything to worry about. We started digging deep into it and we found out it was a real business on its own. And then people involved in the business and people involved. I mean, that was the downside of it.
And
then the plus side.
Okay, proceed. You proceed.
The plus side, they are not 20 teams emerging from the shadows. If you can hear me now, let's take it chronologically and start with the Under-20 African Cup that was staged in Mauritania. Ghana won the competition despite the questions we all raised about the quality of the team that was taken to Mauritania for this tournament. They ended up winning it, and this was our second time since 2009 when we won it in Rwanda.
What do you make of the crop of players that won the competition and how we can transition them into the Black Stars? At the moment, we have just one player in there, and that is Fatau Isahaku.
Well, the good thing about this is that it already speaks of transition on its own. If the players are free and then move to the under 20 level and play. So everybody involved in the national team setup knew the likes of Fatau Abdul Sahaku and what he had done with the under 17 team prior to emerging into the under 20 team. Danlad had been in the national team setup for all this while. So there were quite a number of players who you could look at and then say that, look, transition in Ghana is something that if we allow to happen would really help us. These people transition from the under 17 to the 20. And then we've seen some form of transition also going on with them into the senior national team. It's not wholesale like we did in 2009 and 2010. But you look at Precious Bois, you look at Fatau Abdul Sahaku, Danlad, Lemon Bafor,
Afri Banye, the likes of Asia.
There's some form of transition. And then you look at the prospects for the likes of Emmanuel Esiam. You could say that if they continue like this, they would also emerge from the shadows and then proceed to join the senior national team. For me, the ultimate for these boys is that the trajectory for their development would not be hampered in any way. And the funny thing is that there are about 7 boys who were in that team who still qualify to play in the current under 20 team if you are building a including Fatau Abdul Sahaku. So I would really want to praise the Ghana Football Association for the timely manner in which they conducted their business around them. You move a step back to the national team prior to the under 20, which is under 17. They didn't qualify when they went to Togo, Benin. But when they came back, there are a number of them who are still eligible to play for the current under 17.
Under 17 team, yes.
There has been transition in the technical level with Maxwell Kunedu exiting for Parkway Stadium to come in.
To come back,
But I visited them at Samreboy, and the FA had deliberately taken them away from the shine and the bustle of city life to a very remote part of Ghana. And they were there training, playing matches away from the public gallery. I'm not trying to look down on Samreboy, but you look at that part of Ghana, the Wasa area. Now, it will be very difficult for you to travel all the way there to go and give bribes to the national team, but they should take your player.
And that should be on the brighter side for the FA then.
Yes, I was so amazed when I saw that gesture. And there are certain things they wouldn't even want us to say, but we have to say it in praising them. Because look, initially they were hosted by the Samatex Plywood or Timber Company as a gesture towards the nation from the people of Wasa. And then the FA decided to top up the stay by 1 month by paying for their feeding and accommodation. Then the Samatex people said, no, look, we will take the accommodation money, but the feeding, leave it to us.
You take care of it.
But where we live, we have the best of meals and we can. So look, this is how national teams work. You don't just go out of a competition and say that this is the end. So the competitions department, the general secretary, the president of the Football Republic, His Excellency Ketias Okeku, I would want to praise them for that gesture towards these two national teams.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Let's talk domestic football. Accra Hasafolk won the league title for the first time. Some would say 8 years, others would say 11 years, depending on the calculations you want to do. But what do you make of the success of Hasafolk? And let's not forget, they had a very difficult year. They started with Edward New Odum, then came Costa Papage, who left unceremoniously. Then New Noy came, and finally Samuel Boadu led them to win the league title for the first time in as many years. What do you make of the success of House of Oak in 2021?
That if a football club decides that everybody involved in the club should push in the same direction, they get the results they need. The level of acrimony and bitterness that was on display before the appointment of Boadu was way too much. And it wasn't just the technical department. The board had issues, the management had issues, the playing body had
The
issues.
supporters had issues.
Had issues. They besieged the club secretariat, demonstrating against the board for decisions they had taken and all that. So for me, it was a spark of an appointment which galvanized the rank and file of the team to push in the same direction. And then it also showed us that local coaches, if they decide to concentrate on improving individual players, they end up improving the collective. You mentioned the name, that would always ring a bell in this title week because of that strike against Asante Kotoko. Accra.
It was actually the league winning goal, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is the guy who was missing chances against Ashanti Gold, and he was nearly hounded out of the club.
Yeah, I remember.
Questioning his mentality for that level of football.
Yeah.
Now he comes up and he delivers the goals. We saw Kwame Obin Jr., who was inconsistent on and off.
Yeah.
He comes up with the goods when he was needed. Then goals from midfield. And that signing of Salifu Ibrahim.
Yeah.
I mean, for those of us in this part of the country, we were very sure that he was going to Takwa.
Yeah.
Because a car was on hand here in Kumasi, waiting for him to arrive from Techiman, and then he will go to Takwa.
All of a sudden, he went to Accra.
Apparently, it was a signing that was being driven by Bodu when he was in Takwa. So when he changed clubs, he told them, look, when we get this guy, we are done. And there are many games you could point to. But for me, one game that I felt really rose the spirits of heart up was the game in Bechem against Bechem United at the time that nobody had beaten them. And then they got that win. Yeah. So it's a case study for everybody. Yeah. In the FA Cup, you could see the way they were playing their games. Yeah. Compact at the back, very solid in the middle. When the strikers were not giving them goals, they were relying on midfielders to give them goals. Look at the Olympics game, that strike from Nete.
Then we can just look at Hearts of Oak this year and say that, come on, it was a great year for them. But quite disappointing in Africa, isn't it?
Very, very disappointing. And I wasn't surprised because the approach was wrong. When I heard Bodu saying that, look, the same players we meet in Ghana, they are 11, they are 11. I knew the plot was lost. No, you are not 11. If Bodu had watched Asante Kotoko against the Chiefs and had seen Gacha against the Kotoko players, you would have seen that. If
he had seen them against Al Hilal and co, he probably would have had an idea about the opposition you were going to play.
You don't even risk that. You don't risk that. And Hearts didn't have the collective ability or the individual ability to play and excel in Africa. So, I'm eye-opener for them.
Let's move on quickly. And so this hour, I'm going to box some of the things. First, I want you to talk to me about government decision to engage Corporate Ghana to raise $25 million for sports, though reports had said that it was meant for the Black Stars. And also talk to us about the sacking of C.K. Akono and hiring of Milovan. Just wrap that up for me.
First one is what we call framing in communication studies.
Yeah.
Now, the Ministry of Youth and Sports is one of the poorest, one of the most under-resourced ministries in Ghana. When you take away culture and probably monitoring and evaluation, that is if it even still exists, or chieftaincy, you have the lowest budget.
Yeah.
Now, it is also a ministry that gives prominence and flash their light on Corporate Ghana.
Yes.
So I genuinely feel that the framing of the purpose of the fundraising was wrong. The moment Black Stars came in, it was always going to be like, Black Stars, they don't care about sports, they don't care about the other national teams. But when I got closer and tried to understand the purpose of the fundraising, that was when I found out it was rather something being done for the entire sporting fraternity and not just Black Stars. But Black Stars was used to front it. And if I had the opportunity then, I'd have advised people in government that, look, you don't use Black Stars to front it. Right after that, Black Stars became a poison chalice. Everybody was angry. This Black Stars, we give them money, we give them money, we give them money. Now I'm looking on the screen, viewers watching us, the screen has the headline, Government Engaged Corporate Ghana to raise $25 million for Black
Stars. Because that was what the president said.
That killed it. It killed the dream. It killed the dream. The money actually was for the sporting fraternity and not Black Stars.
Yeah.
Really
Because I
showed
remember I had the pleasure of seeing that very document actually, and it had Commonwealth Games 2022, it had Olympic Games, so many plans, the games that are going to take place in France. It was a big plan. I had the privilege of seeing that document. But talk to me about the CK hiring, CK sacking, the hiring of Milo.
No, we had gotten to a point where what was happening behind the scenes was too much. After a third meeting between the minister and the FA president and then the coach, he had gotten to understand that, look, there was really turmoil. There was turmoil because it had gotten to the point, like you told me before, that the FA president and Fika Akuno were not seeing eye to eye.
Yeah.
There was bitterness, there was acrimony, so a decision had to be made. And the decision had to be made because Fika wasn't performing. It all came to a dead end in that game against South Africa. In Johannesburg. Not because of the result, but the fact that some people have been sent, in this case Ibrahim Tanko and Co, to Zimbabwe, to see South Africa in Zimbabwe. They had written a match report and it was discarded. And people asked questions after the game, why didn't you use the match report? Because what we have seen in the report was what was manifesting on the pitch, and it didn't give good answers. So when they came back, for peace to prevail, the decision had to be taken, and Fika Akuno had to be fired. Once he was fired, Ghana was looking for a trusted hand, somebody that they could be comfortable with, and they decided to look in the direction of Milo, because we couldn't pay her enough, like you had told me. Even that money issues came up, how much are we paying Milo and all those things, but thankfully, everything was resolved. He came in, saw us against Zimbabwe, saw us against South Africa, and then we were firmly on our way to play in the second phase of the World Cup qualifiers. Fika Akuno's decision was one that needed to be taken because the acrimony behind the scenes was just too much. It was just unbearable. And it was literally
I know you probably might be very much aware of this, but the meeting that happened at the Jubilee House prior to the sacking of CK Akuno, I'm sure very much that you are very much aware of this. It was something even government was still insisting that we needed a local man. But the FA had to find a way of convincing them that at this point we don't have any. Did you agree with the decision of the FA to convince government that we actually needed an expatriate to lead the national team?
They had blackened the local coaches to the point where they didn't trust those who were around.
Yeah.
Who is next in line? Maxwell Konedu, who's been there around. Who is next in line? Naturally for me, if we were going away from Fika Akuno, we should be settling on Ibrahim Tanko as the obvious fit. Yeah. Because he had gotten closer to the team. Yeah. But the FA weren't comfortable with Tanko.
Yeah.
Even when his name came up as one of the assistants, they were against it. And then Ghanaians had also spoken so much against this thing that had been sent, Black Stars Beyond 8. Yeah. The Black Stars Beyond 8. It wasn't giving us the results we were looking for. And the Black Stars were on a decline. And they also argued strongly at the point to government that, look, Black Stars is in transition. We need somebody who can help us build a national team. When the person builds, we can go back. And then they told the chief of staff that, look, when Milovan Rajevac was here, he helped Slastete. He built his confidence.
Yes.
When he was here, he helped Kusiapia. So Firma also saw the need to understand what they were doing and then agreed. So I feel that was a selling point.
On South Africa's protest and the impasse that happened within Ghana football, where there was a massive division, 67 members assembled in Kumasi and said that they have assessed the efficacy of the current executive committee of the Ghana Football Association, and their conclusion is that it does not represent the interests of football. First, South Africa protest, and wrap up with the protest, with the changes that were made in Kumasi.
So Muftau, we were in Cape Coast watching the game, myself, Guy, and then George.
Yeah.
And then Guy was on his phone a lot of times. And then he showed us some of the things Marawa had written.
Yeah.
So the protest actually started even before the game ended. They were protesting about everything. Taking 9 hours to get to Cape Coast.
To get to Cape Coast.
I know. So, but you look at the basis of the protest. Look, I was surprised even the case of Lampton was roped in. Because they were literally clutching at straws.
Yeah.
Lampton, and then the de facto chief of staff of the GFA going to Senegal the referee doing a number on them. It was worrying. They were literally looking for everything. Yes, it is painful when you lose out on a competition in that manner. Yeah. But the reality here is that South Africa didn't offer Ghana any opposition here in this country. Yeah. And in fact, but for the profligacy on the part of our players, this is a game we could have won and wrapped up easily. Looking at the chances we missed. Yeah. But then we are a team. The Black Stars are on their way to getting a good draw to make us qualify for the World Cup. Only a good draw will take us there.
Now the umpires, yes.
General Secretary.
Yeah.
You beg the General Secretary of the Ghana Football Association.
That,
look, dealing with football people is difficult. He knows them very well. Yeah. He knows them, but unfortunately, they don't know him. Many in football see the General Secretary of the Ghana Football Association as somebody who has just been brought in. Yeah. If they were to vote to elect a General Secretary, they wouldn't vote for him.
He would not even get one vote. This is why he personally loses.
And then they are quick to tell you, oh, look, my Prosper, does he buy boots? Does he buy football? Does he know how you get players? You see, when this thing started, I thought it was a joke. But for the Division 1 clubs, this is a battle for survival. Yeah. The moment that National League is played and the rest are relegated to the Regional League, the value of their players, the value of their clubs will automatically go down.
And even the value of the competition itself.
It will go down. So look, they are fighting for survival. And the level of consultation they did, they went as the Bono clubs involved, the Division 1 clubs, except Animado's club, had met the Domahini to put their petition before him that he should speak to the FA for them. So they really rallied the Premier League clubs around them. And the RFAs feel that only the two who are on the executive committee are benefiting. The rest of them have been reduced to nothing.
I remember that 4,000 Ghana cedis conversation.
So look, they want an opportunity to be very relevant in decision making, and also enjoy the Lajis that is at the Exco. And for them, it is also a battle of survival. That's why Ralph was at the Congress. So the Congress has happened. They have options now. They've presented the amendments to the General Secretary. If they accept it, fine. If they don't accept, they will push the politics. Look at CAF or look at any of the local courts. I just wish we don't go there.
At this point, it doesn't appear they want to go to local court. They are probably considering CAS if the FA fails to adopt the changes they've made. Because I remember vividly when the minutes were sent to the FA, there was an emergency meeting at the executive committee level to go through the changes they've made and then make a conclusion on it. Atta, your final words, then we wrap up. We appreciate your time this morning. Yeah.
Consultation is the best way to go. So the FA should consult like they did with the RFA chairman not long ago. Yeah. And then our sports is going to develop. But we are pleading with everybody. The sports is already underfunded. So if there is a football team in your community, when they are playing, please go. Even if you can't go, just pay for some people to go. Let's finance these clubs. Let's not see them as an individual's property, and then it's going to help. Happy New Year to us all.
Thank you very much, Atta, and a Happy New Year to you too. We appreciate your time. You've been a friend of Joy Sports for this year, and we are very grateful that you always make our time to join us and enrich our programs. Thank you very much, Atta. And that was Atta Poku of Wontumi FM and Wontumi TV in Kumasi, and he's a very good friend of the Joy Sports team who has been giving us a lot. It was a review of the year 2021, and probably it sets the tone for a very good 2022. That's how we wrap up AM Sports.